Hello guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew this beautiful long bubu gown with a side drape and an adjustable belt on the waistline. So if this is what you're interested in, stay tuned until the end of this video. So I went ahead to fold my fabric and then I placed it on the table, right? So I'm using my paper to demonstrate it. That's the yardage part and that's the length of the fabric. I went ahead to fold the length of the fabric into two first, and then I folded the yardage part into two as well, so as to get the length of my fabric and the shoulder length plus the half length plus the hand length, sorry. And then take note that our fabric, our bubu won't be having any shoulder slope, right? So that's why I went ahead, I repeat again, I folded the length of my fabric into two and then the yardage into two, and then I get four pieces of fabric after folding that. And then take note, our fabric does not have any shoulder slant, right? So after folding that, I had what you can see on the table over there. And then what I did first was to go ahead and measure my shoulder, half of my shoulder measurement, which was 7 inches. I marked that, and then I went ahead to measure my hand length, right? And everything together, my shoulder plus my hand length, everything gave me a total of 30 inches because it's a long hand and it's a cut together. Okay, so what can you see over there? There is a join over there because my fabric was my fabric was 45 inches long. It could not give me the 30 inches I wanted, so I went ahead to cut another piece of fabric and I added at the end so as to get my long sleeve over there. And what I did for my sleeve length, I measured my waist length, right, my half length measurement, which was 17 inches. So I started from the starting point. Remember, we won't be having any shoulder slope over there, right? It's a cut together. So I measured my 17 inches, which is my half length over there, and went ahead to rule my line just like you can see. I measured 17 inches from the beginning of the fabric to the end of the fabric, right? Just like you can see over there. Measure my neck width, which was 2.75, right? And then my neck depth, which was 3 inches. You can make your neck width 3 inches depending on the size of the client, right? So after measuring that, I went ahead to connect both my points. That's for the front measurement, and for the back, my neck depth was 1 inch, right? For the back neck depth, I measured both the back and the front on that side because the fabric is folded into 4. So what you can see me do over there, I came down again, that's for the front, by 3.5 inches, right? So it's 3.5 inches, just like you can see over there. Then after that, I went straight to my waistline, right? Then what you do on your waistline is you divide the biggest part of your body, which mine was my hip part. I divided it by 4 and I got 11 inches. And what I went ahead to do was to add 6 inches for sewing allowance, and then for the ease, right, because it's a free gown. So I added 6 inches, right? And that line will be I'll draw that line straight from the waistline down to my hemline, just like you can see on the video, right? So I was just going ahead to confirm my body measurement. What I got was 17 inches. So I went ahead to rule that line straight down to my hemline, just like you can see over there.
Every night are we paradise seems so far away. Still I try to buy myself some time to get me to that place. All I want is you. Staying up till we want to. Tell you what, I bet that we could see it new. I wanna lay
So after that, what I went ahead to do was to make my armhole curvy, right? Just like you can see over there, I'm curving it with my hand. If you have a curvy roller, you can use that as well. And then after that, we were almost done with our measurements, right? We're done with everything. So the next thing I went ahead to do next was just to cut everything, right? So just watch what I'm doing right there on the video.
Every night, every night, every night I wait. Paradise, paradise seems so far away. Still try to buy myself some time to get me to that place. All I want, all I want is you. Staying up till we want to. Tell you what.
So take note that on the neckline, I started by cutting the back part, right? Because they are together. After cutting the back part, now what I'll do is to remove my pins from every side, right? After removing my pins, what I went ahead to do next was to open up my fabric so as to cut the front neckline of my fabric. Just watch what I'm doing over there. I opened up my fabric just like you can see, and then I went ahead to cut the front neckline. And then for what I did over there on the neckline, you can choose to make yours wider or even smaller. It depends on you. Can you see what I did over there? Then the next thing I did was to go ahead and cut my lining, right? The piece for the neck, the lining for the neck, what I'll use to turn my neck with, right? I went ahead to fold the fabric into two and then cut that, both for the front and the back. Just watch what I'm doing, you understand, right? After cutting that, I went ahead to bring that piece out just to trace the neckline, right? So I went ahead, I measured 3 inches, but it's not really necessary. You can just do what you do, right? Do what you feel it's okay. So after that, I went ahead to cut that out, right? So as to make my facing a little bit smaller, not too thick on the neckline. After cutting, I had what you can see on the video right there, right? Just what you can see over there. So that's my facing right there. And then what I'll be doing next is to place that on my neckline, right? So let's go straight into the sewing tutorial. So what I did first was to open up my neckline, right? And then placed my facing on top of the neckline, right sides facing each other. Take note of that. With right sides facing each other, I went ahead to the sewing machine and I sewed my neckline round. Okay guys, take note that I used a different color of the thread so that you can see what I'm doing over there, right? But use a matching color for your fabric. After that, what I went ahead to do was to trim the neckline so that it gives a well-defined shape, right? And then I went ahead to notch that all around my neckline. And then after notching that, what I went ahead to do was to iron it, right? And to iron it, I placed it right. Yeah, I ironed everything on every side, and I went ahead to use a hemming gum to hem every part of the neckline to avoid movement, right? You can choose to overlock first before you iron the neckline. So what I did first next was to go to my waistline now, and then on my waistline, what I'll do is what you can do there is to trace your waistline on the other side. And then what I did was to measure my waist divided by 4, and then I subtract 0.5 inches, right? And then I went ahead to mark what I got on the right side of the front and on the left side of the front, just like you can see over there. And then I went ahead to rule a straight line so as to get a guide on where I'll be placing my detachable belt, right? So after that, I ruled my line. After ruling my line, take note that this line I ruled was not really straight, but I will go ahead to adjust it later. And then I took my detachable belt. What you do is to join it together, and then you iron it first, and then you go ahead and place it on those lines that you measured, right? And then after that, I did all that, and then this is what I had over here after doing all that. So I had what you can see on the video right there. I had that. So take note that the length of my detachable belt is 35 inches for each belt, right? Yeah, 35 inches. Then after that, I went ahead to my sleeve, and then I made a double fold, right? And then I also fold the hem of my gown. Okay, so after folding, I had what you can see, just what you can see over there, right? Yeah. And then what I did next was to place the fabric, and then I joined everything together, just like you can see. I joined the right side and the left side together. After joining that, I went ahead to hem the down part of my gown, and then I'll bring it back to show you. So this is it. After joining, you can't really see the thread because it's a matching color, so you can't really see that on the camera. So after joining, I had our gown almost ready over there, right? And then what I'll be going ahead to do is to iron every part. So after ironing, I had what you can see over there. So for my press button, what I'll do to get my press button is that I went ahead for the center front. I marked in to my left by 5 inches, right, on the waistline, and then I came down by 10 inches, just like you can see over there. Then I went ahead to attach my press button, and then that was it. I was done with that. And then our gown was ready, our bubu gown was ready. So guys, that's it for the video. If you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel so that each time I post content like this, you'll be the first to watch. See you in my next video. Bye.